And we welcome in Steve Hahn with the Tulsa Parent-Child Center of Tulsa, as well as the Tulsa Anti-Bullying Collaboration. Thanks for being with us today.
Hi, Russ. Thanks for having me today.
All right, let's talk a little bit about this year, because things this year in schools all across Oklahoma are going to be different when it relates to bullying, and a lot has happened. So let's talk a little bit about what's transpired in the last year. The new law was passed.
Absolutely.
And that's going to change things. Tell me a little bit about what students and parents can expect.
The School Safety and Bullying Prevention Act was passed this year, and the governor signed it on May 20th. Schools can expect for their teachers and administrators to be trained regularly annually now, as mandated by the new law. Also, schools will be required to investigate allegations of bullying, not only reported allegations, but suspicions of allegations as well. So if a teacher believes a student is being bullied, they then are required to submit a report to the site principal or designee, who will follow up on investigation.
And so there's going to be better reporting and better investigating of these types of incidents.
Absolutely, because the State Department of Education has outlined a training for administrators and school staff to follow. They have the appropriate paperwork for schools to retrieve from the State Department of Education's website, so there's really a framework in place now.
And this all really takes effect November 1st, but you're gearing up for it right now. And what's the reaction been from educators at this point? Are they fairly receptive?
Absolutely. You know, a lot of schools in our area already are on board with training with bullying awareness and prevention and intervention, so it's something they already do. But this is really going to aid their toolkit in addressing bullying at school. You
know, it seems like that attitudes are starting to change a little bit towards bullying. You know, in the past, it kind of seemed like in some schools maybe they addressed it more seriously. Others as well, kids will be kids. It's just kind of that kind of mentality. But it seems like it's really gaining momentum, and people realize that this is a significant social problem, and even the kids themselves are kind of saying, hey, you know, we need to back off on this kind of stuff.
Absolutely, and it also relates to lower academic achievement, student absenteeism, so the schools understand that this is affecting a bottom line with their students, and so they're addressing it.
Yeah, I don't know that maybe we'll ever do away with it. I think there's kind of a certain element out there that tries to put themselves up against other people and so forth, but it seems like that the attitudes are starting to change, and that's really the first step.
Correct, and this really reduces the likelihood of bullying from occurring at school. We know we probably won't ever stop it, but it can reduce that possibility.
Yeah, and you know, just today the OCCJ helped put on an event to kick off the school year and kind of also put bullying in front and center in the conversation. And that's just another thing that for people to just remind them that, you know, hey, we need to treat people with respect and dignity.
Absolutely. Bullying is just not a school issue. Bullying prevention, that is, it's a community-wide issue, and so people really understand that. Agencies are coming to understand that, businesses are, and it's everybody's responsibility.
Yeah, and you know, you mentioned that because bullying is not just a school thing.
Right.
It's also sometimes in churches and sometimes in businesses, and it really affects our entire society.
Kids just don't grow out of this behavior. It follows them into adulthood, whether they are victimized or whether they victimize other people.
What do you think, now that we start to have some momentum towards bullying,
Sure.
Where do you think this is going? Is there really a part of the psyche now that's starting to say, we got to respect other people? Maybe you're not going to be best friends with people,
right.
but you have to respect where they come from and what they do.
You know, this goes back to treating others how you want to be treated and really practicing that. It's not just a Sunday school lesson for kids. This is really a life, something to live by for life.
Yeah, and the golden rule always is a good thing to
Absolutely.
go by, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Well, things are changing, and that's certainly good to see. When we talked about the legislation, the bullying standards in Oklahoma hadn't changed in over 10 years. And when you think about where we've come in cell phone technology and those kinds of things, and now Twitter and Facebook, kids can really jump on the bandwagon quickly.
Sure.
And so these kinds of things are going to make a difference, aren't they?
Absolutely, it will.
Let's hope it does. All right, Steve, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks so much.